This video covers Review 7, Problems 1 through 11. Problem 1, ask for the slope and the y-intercept for y1. So we're just going to give these numbers, y1 and y2. The slope is -2 and the b value is 3. They ask us to graph and determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither by answering the questions. So to graph this line, I will start up at 3. A slope of -2 means I'm going to scoot down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, couple of times, and draw my line through there. Y2 has a slope of 2 and a b value of -5, so I start down at -5 and go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, a couple of times. Now these lines cross, so I know they cannot be parallel. If they were perpendicular, then their slopes would be completely the opposite and they would cross at a T, but these cross at an X, which does not make 90-degree angles, so these lines are neither. They are not parallel or perpendicular. Problem 2, the slope and y-intercept for y1 is -1/3 and the b value is 5. So to graph this, I go up to 5 and I go down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3 a few times. Then for y2, my m is 3 and b is 6. So I start at 6 and I go up 3, right 1. I can also go down 3 and left 1. And these lines, their slopes are completely the opposite. They also create 90-degree angles. So these lines are perpendicular. Problem 3, y1 has a slope of 4 and a b value of -3. So I start down at 3, go up 4, right 1, up 4, right 1. Whoop. Y2 has a slope of 4. And a b value of 0. It doesn't mean there isn't one, it just means it starts at 0. And then slope is up 4, right 1. And we can see that these lines never cross and their slopes are exactly the same. So these lines are parallel. Problem 4, they want us to write an equation and graph a line parallel to x that goes through the point -2, -5. So the first thing I do is I graph this line so I can see exactly what I'm talking about. So -2, -5 would be the point down here. They want it to be parallel or the same as the x-axis. So this is my x-axis. It needs to go the same direction as the x-axis, which goes horizontally. So this is a Hoy equation. With the Hoy, your slope is the O in Hoy, which is a slope of 0. And the equation comes from the y in Hoy, which is y equals the y from your point, which is -5. Problem 5, they want something parallel to 2x minus 2y equals 6 and goes through the point 7, 4. So first I'm going to need to solve for y. So I move 2x to the other side and divide by -2 because I'm trying to get y by itself. So I get x minus 3. Now remember, we want a different line parallel to this line, so I need to steal the slope and then use my new point of 7, 4 to graph. So my equation I can write in point slope form. You can also convert from point slope form if you want, but my point is going to be a 4 on the y and 7 on the x. and my slope that I found from the equation that is the same because it's parallel is 1. So I'm going to plot the point 7,4 and then use my slope of 1 to graph this line. So again, in order to make it parallel, I had to find the original slope and then plug into point slope. Problem 6 wants an equation in line perpendicular to this that goes through the point -2, 5. So perpendicular would be the flop slope. So m is going to equal -3/2. My equation in point slope is going to be y minus 5 equals my slope of -3/2 x plus 2. And remember, what I can do is plot this point first, -2, 5, and then use my slope of down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2 to get the rest of that line. Alternatively, I could solve that point slope equation for y and then plug or graph slope intercept form instead. Problem 7 wants the equation of a line parallel to the x-axis that goes through the point 5, 6. So this is my x-axis. The point 5, 6 would go to the right and up. I don't know exactly where it is. I'm just guessing here. Parallel to x means it would look the same as x, so it's going to go this way, which would make it a HOI because it's horizontal. With a HOI, your slope is 0, and your equation is y equals the y from your point that you were given. 8, similar situation. We have the point 5, 6. And this time they want perpendicular to x, which means it's going to cross the x-axis. So to cross the x-axis would go like that, and it would be a vux. The u in vux is for the undefined slope. The x in vux is the equation. X equals the x in the point you were given. Problem 9, we have the point -4, 7, so left and up. And they want it to be parallel to y, so they want the same as the y-axis. Remember, this is the y-axis, so same as that would go up and down, which would be a vux. My slope of a vux is undefined, and my equation is x equals -4 from the point that I was given. And then problem 10. Perpendicular to y, going through that same point. Perpendicular goes through, it crosses through that axis. And this is a horizontal, a HOI. So my slope in a HOI is 0. And my equation for a HOI is y equals y of the point that I was given. 11, they want you to write the equation of a line going through 2, 3 parallel to y equals x minus 4. So first thing I need to know, parallel means the same slope. So my slope here is 1. Point slope form looks like this. So in point slope, my point is going to flip the x and the y, so -2, -3. And then my slope stays the same of 1. And then to turn it into slope intercept form, I'm going to solve for y. So I distribute to both pieces, x times 1, x times -2. I don't have anything to combine. Remember, I'm trying to get y by itself. I don't have to move to the same side. I can add or subtract, so I'm going to move that 3 away from y. So we have x plus 1 in slope intercept form.